Hi everyone, welcome to the first in a series of videos about BTEC fitness testing. This is for the level 3 course. Now, just so we're all clear, depending on which course you're on will depend on which unit number this is. So, if you are on the sport courses, this is unit number 7. If you are, however, on sport science, this is unit 8. So we've got some different course numbers there, some different unit numbers, should I say. So just to make sure you are putting this with the right set of notes when you make your notes and when you keep them and file them away. Now, we have a big question. Fitness testing. Why do we test for someone's fitness? That is a big question. Now, there are a number of reasons why we might test someone's fitness. Now, the first reason is to identify someone's fitness needs. Identify someone's fitness needs. And what we mean by that is, what do they need to improve? And whether you are an elite athlete or whether you are a general member of the public, fitness is really important. It's what helps you perform on a day-to-day basis and in your elite sports. So therefore, we do need to know if someone needs to improve a certain aspect. For example, a basketball player. If a basketball player is lacking leg power, they're not going to be able to jump. So therefore, it's really important that we actually identify that early on in their training and do something about it. There is another reason why we would want to test someone's fitness, and that is to do what we call benchmarking. Now, benchmarking, you've probably heard about this before from benchmarks for your attendance. There are 2 reasons for benchmarking. One benchmark is just acting as a starting point. A starting point. Now, once we've got that starting point, we then can compare progress against that starting point. So if we go back to the example of the basketball player who we know has a lack of leg power, we have a point by which we've measured. We know what his initial ability was. We can periodically retest him or her and look back and think if they're making progress or not. And that will indicate to us whether our training is actually working. Now, just select another colour. We have other reasons. And this would be still linked in with benchmarking, but to inform fitness training program design. Fitness training program design. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, fitness testing is very closely linked with fitness training, and training is what happens over a period of time. Training is not a one-off session. So when we come to actually planning what we're going to do, say over a 6-week period in fitness training, it's very helpful if we have some knowledge of the athlete or the individual's current fitness levels. That allows us to set appropriate intensity levels, i.e., are we setting training at a hard enough level? I'll come back for one more colour, for one more reason why we might test someone's fitness. That is education. I don't mean education in the sense of being in school and learning for your GCSEs, A-levels, BTECs, your degrees. What I mean there is education of athletes. And education of athletes is really important because not all athletes, believe it or not, realise how important good levels of fitness are to their overall performance. They don't always see that if my fitness levels drop, I can actually do the things that I want to do, actually process the skills. And the second group of people we might need to educate are the general public, Joe Public, as we call them. Because again, they don't always see how having been fitter in one particular area, such as cardiovascular endurance, can have a major impact on their daily lives. So, those are our reasons why we test people's fitness. Now, just going to scroll down. We now have another question to consider. What tests would I use? Now, this is an enormous question. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different fitness tests. In order for us to actually decide which tests to use, we have to look at two key things. The first of those is the test validity. Now, what do I mean by test validity? Actually, this is remarkably simple. And its most simple concept is this. Does the test actually test what I say it is testing? For example, let's think about a test that you will all know and probably love, the multi-stage fitness test, otherwise known as a bleep test. Does the bleep test actually measure your cardiovascular endurance? Now, I'm not going to give the answer away to that, and we all probably think it does, but I'm not going to give the answer away as to whether it does or not, or if it's a bit of a grey area, because that's something we're going to look at in a little while. But one of the other things we have to ask ourselves now is, are the tests reliable? Now, rather than reliable, I'm going to say this: reliability. We are questioning the reliability of tests. So you can see what that word comes from. Is it reliable? We test its reliability. And what I'm talking about here is that test objective? So, if I rephrase that into a question, as I did over here with validity, if I conducted the test again, would I get the same results? So if I conducted the test again, would I get the same results? Now, that seems a bit strange for me to be questioning that, but let's consider the environment and the impact that has. So in our example of the bleep test, we have to consider the flooring. If I did my first bleep test indoors on a hard wooden floor, would the test results be reliable if, when I retested it in 6 weeks' time, I did it outdoors on grass with the performers wearing football boots and it was wet? What about if when I first did it, the temperature was 25 degrees and the humidity, so the amount of moisture in the air, was very high, yet the second time I did this, the temperature was only 5 degrees and the humidity was very low? Would that same bleep test results be reliable results? There's something else for us to consider as well. I'm trying to grab a different colour. I'm going to scroll down. What about the athlete's state? What do I mean by the athlete's state? I actually mean their physical state. So, are they injured? Have they eaten the same things? Do they have the same fuel inside them? And also their mental state. Are they as up for it? If we go back to our idea of the bleep test, if I did that at different times of the day, maybe I did it just after the athlete's eaten breakfast, they'd have a full stomach, perhaps they wouldn't want to be doing a lot of running. What if I did it when they hadn't eaten anything at all? How would the test results differ? Would they be reliable? Similarly, when we talk about the athlete's mental state, if on one day they are feeling really competitive and on the next day they're not feeling so competitive, so they're uncompetitive, how would that affect the results differently? So, let's recap. Fitness testing. We can consider to ourselves why we're testing. Why is it we're conducting these fitness tests? Is it to identify fitness needs? Is it to benchmark? Is it to inform training program design? Or is it to educate? When considering what tests we might use out of the huge range that we're going to study, we come back to these questions: validity and reliability. Is my test reliable? Will I actually get the information that I want? And is the test reliable? If I do it again, will I get the same results? Am I able to use the same environments? Am I able to control the athlete's state of mind? Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to leave you with that and we will discuss those things in class.